begins.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, joined by the one, the only Blitz Transmissions.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hello there.
Hello there. So today Hasbro had a live stream, which is very uncommon, maybe not for long. And Tommy here has already kind of recapped some on his own channel, so everyone check in the description for the link to his channel. You can see he had a live stream where he and the Monday Night Figure Ball guys pretty much live reacted as it was coming out. So
yeah, it was fun. We did like the first 30 minutes before it started, we did some predictions. And I think 3 of the 4 of us predicted one of the Black Series reveals. But yeah, and then we just did live reactions, talked about them a little bit afterwards, and I've kind of had the day to ruminate over my thoughts on it. So
that's where I'm at, because I mean, like, I watched the stream at work, and initially I was just like, woo, and now that I've had a couple hours to chill, I'm back to being a salty bitch about everything like I usually am.
Yeah,
so,
I was surprised because I know you and I were talking last night. Usually these streams are like they give you like a few days in advance. So like it gives us time to get like a predictions video out, and that's usually what I do. But in this case, they announced it like 24 hours before the actual stream, which I'm not mad about. It'll just change the way that I do content surrounding these. I won't, if I'm live streaming them, I won't do like a recap video or a predictions video, but yeah.
So no, and that's kind of where I'm at. If you don't give me any time, I just can't make the content.
But, right.
So real quick, just to say hi to chat. We have the Max Rebo Experience as first, the Delphi Rangers as second. Surely they're different people here. We have Commander Cry in here with, oh man, Blitz is here. Cringe. Good morning, everyone. When is the stream? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So, and hoping that they announce a Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I'm going to have a whole thing on this after we talk about the figures.
Okay.
So, we have 212th Hunter home in 30 minutes and Commander Cook arm high. So, hello, Commander Cook. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Hunter, I will get that link sent your way. And if we're running strong still and you want to hop on, that is A-okay. But, Tommy, so what were your initial thoughts? I mean, were you satisfied with the stream, or?
So I honestly, I will say, I was expecting a little more from Black Series than 2 figures. But I think it was Corellian Collectibles on my live stream did make a point that in January of last year, Hasbro did a Star Wars stream, and Black Series only had 3 reveals on that stream in January last year. So it might just be the time of year. I also have a feeling that Hasbro is trying to play things close to the chest right now for Black Series, because they're absolutely going to dump on us between Celebration in April, May the 4th, and then San Diego Comic-Con. So I think this is the calm before the storm, if anything. But yeah, at first underwhelmed, but then I realized that it's just action figures and I needed to get over it.
I always tell people after these streams are never loaded. There are never, people always come to these streams thinking that they are about to be shown the next 30 Black Series.
Right.
And it has never, ever been that. I think they've maxed out at 6 once. Like they really never show a lot. Something that I do like, and we were just talking about this the other night in one of our Xbox parties, is why doesn't the Star Wars team live stream? It seems like every month there's a Marvel, a Transformers, a G.I. Joe, and then like Star Wars, and they mentioned it, they always get January. They always do a January stream, and then you don't hear from them until May 4th, and then you don't hear from them until San Diego, and then they're obligatory, 10/21 or 27?
10/27,
Yeah. And so it's like the Star Wars team does 5 streams a year, 3 of them because Hasbro twists their arm. And so it's like I wonder why they don't interact as much. And they said in the beginning of the stream, this is probably my most favorite announcement from today, is that they want to do this more often. And they're talking about like there's not a date set, but there could be a potential February stream. I think it would be cool, because I mean the announcements were light, and they said it was going to be light. But if you're going to give me light announcements 12 times a year,
that's fine.
But it's I totally get how every month Marvel goes and shows you an entire wave of X-Men Legends.
Yeah, well, Zooboy brought up a good point with that. He on my stream, he was saying that Marvel, he's a big Marvel Legends collector, and he said that that's because they focus a lot on the Build-A-Figures, so you can't really make an excuse. If you reveal part of the wave, you've already given up the Build-A-Figure, so you may as well just reveal all the figures in that wave, which I do really understand that. Whereas Black Series, it's they'll focus on like one piece of media or like sets of figures.
Right. So
you got figure ball.
Yep. I love legs from 2013. That will be a thing,
dude.
But I guess with that, I mean, just talking about the announcements or the announcement that there will be announcements. I'm going to pull up some photos and we're just going to start rattling through some stuff. So I'm using StarWarsNewsNet.com because for whatever reason, Yakface would rather post his screenshots from the YouTube video instead of the promo photos that have been released. Not sure what's going on there, but
trying to get it out quick, brother.
Yeah, but I mean, like I would then go and make a second post personally.
He's on that Commander Bly mindset,
right? So they did start out strong. These have been some glaring omissions, and they started with Balin Skull from the Ahsoka series.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest; it looks better than the Black Series one. Maybe not necessarily in likeness, but he doesn't have all the weird rust on his leather armor that the Black Series one had to have.
Mm-hmm.
And the photos here, they don't have a ton, and this one doesn't show it very well. But there was a photo that I saw just of him in like a T pose with the lightsaber next to him. And also better than the Black Series is the lightsaber wasn't longer than he is tall.
You don't like the pool stick sized saber? What? But it's like a broadsword.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and I get it. Like, he's a big dude, and his lightsaber's gonna be like a little bit longer. If an average dude has a 3-foot blade, he might be right 3'6" blade, But Hasbro's just like, it's like a broadsword. Give him a 6-foot blade. Like, nah.
Yeah. This I gotta say, people just in general about today's reveals. I saw a lot of people saying that the faces on the human figures didn't look good. And to that, I have to say what I've always said, which is for some reason, I don't know what editing process does this. It makes the figures' faces look bad. And in person, the faces on all of these figures, when they had them on the table, did look much better. Maybe not perfect, but all the faces looked much better. So yeah, this guy though, he to me this is literally just a shrunken down Black Series figure with better paint apps. Like I don't, and a better lightsaber hilt or blade size, and it looks like he's properly scaled with his counterpart, which is another up that they have on Black Series. So honestly, WTVC for getting Balin Skull.
Right, they don't. Newsnet here doesn't have photos. They did have them just on the table next to each other. And worth noting is he and Shin Hati, the next announcement, are not the same height. They actually did differentiate a little bit of scale.
Did a good job.
So you see here Balin does fill the box mostly. And I hate this site. That's weird. And there's like a lot of room above and below her. So there is like some appropriate scaling between the two. Now, here he is next to the saber. You see it's not the length of the figure. So that's a drastic improvement in my opinion. And then they did Shin Hati next. And I got to say, I think even though these photos are kind of rough, I think they got closer here than Black Series did on the likeness. Like,
the one blaring thing on this for me is the same complaint. And it's honestly my biggest complaint with the Black Series figure is, this is a character that just really needed a wash on the hair or at least a darker color at the roots, because as opposed to like, I don't care if Luke Skywalker has a wash to his hair or like Han Solo or Annie or Obi, but when it comes to this character where it's very strikingly a very striking contrast between the darker roots and the lighter rest of the hair, this is one where I feel like it would have really benefited from that. But again, aside from that, it's a shrunken down Black Series figure and it looks great.
Mm-hmm. Here I see we have Phantom Menace Dennis joining us in the chat.
Dennis,
how are you doing?
Will we see you at Toy Hio?
Will we see you at Toy Hio, Dennis? So anyway, I think they generally did do a really good job.
Yeah, I agree.
Minus, of course, it does need the wash.
Yeah,
but it does look like a shrunk down Black Series with a couple of tweaks that I'd like to see them do on a second attempt. But as I think it was the third drop, they're doing another Mandalorian Super Commando based on the flashback in Ahsoka.
Yeah, I do have a will bone to pick with this one.
I think I know right where you're going with it. I'm guessing it has to do with this area.
Yes, it does, Hybrid.
Yeah.
Because especially like I have the hot toy of this particular appearance of this character. And the hot toy and the card back art show that he only has the one holster that's attached to the belt on his right hip. Whereas this, they just reused the Clone Wars legs and gave him the thigh holsters with the two which, you know what? At least they gave him blaster pistols to put in the holsters. He's minor enough of a character that I can easily forgive it. But it makes me wary that this figure will be on the absolute, will just be a repack of the absolute garbage Mandalorian for the Black Series.
Yeah, and honestly, because if that's how they're going to run, especially with Black Series, is because typically with this kind of thing, if Black Series or if TVC gets one, Black Series gets one, and since this is a second attempt, because we did get a Mandalorian in TVC already, if they decide to do another one to put in Ahsoka packaging, honestly, it's probably a pass for me if they do a Black Series one, if it's just that Jango body.
I don't know. I kind of want to see an angry review from you of you reviewing this on the Jango Fett body with a blaster that it cannot hold in two hands.
Yeah,
I think I would love to see that review because watching your Pre-Vizsla review is probably like in my top 3 all-time like hybrid
rants. Yep. Yes. I do a pretty good job of getting angry. I'm like a stepdad, but not drinking.
Yeah, dude. If this character had the wrong holsters and it was like a much more like major character, I would be like rolling my eyes a lot more. But I will say, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care that much. If anything, it makes this one blend in more with the existing. They've done multiple Mandalorians already, so.
No, and I mean, I guess that is kind of nice in a way where if you don't care that it's Ahsoka packaging, it is just another variant, if you're an open.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was cool, and kind of, we're starting to get away from the standouts. The Balin and the Shin really did jump out at me a lot. I'm not even a TVC guy.
Yeah,
but here we go. Finally, some good stuff. So,
I want blue one. I want blue. Give me blue clone.
I'm gonna be honest. I think these are cool. I mean, my 501st is my Legion of choice, and it just looks good. It's not a scale I care about, so whatever. Aren't they doing? So I know it doesn't come with it, but on the new clone body, aren't they doing swappable heads where it's not a removable helmet anymore, but you pop it off and pop the new one on?
Yeah, so what they're doing, they did this with the most recent Captain Rex. They did this with, so this one's just a straight repack from that 501st 4-pack that came out, the Army Builder set. And then they also did this with some of the more recent clones, where as opposed to a removable helmet, they're doing just a helmeted head like back in the day when they would just do helmeted heads and then you would get a swappable head. Or I honestly, dude, I'm gonna be real. I could totally see them just doing removable helmets for the ones that remove their helmets and then just doing this look for these guys that don't do it at all. I'm getting this, obviously, because I get all the TVC clone troopers and I keep them on card. But yeah, I mean, this is it's a cool figure. Not much else for me to say about it.
Right. I remember when they showed the card art in the live stream, just the comment section just jumping to this needs to be on the Revenge of the Sith card back, and my immediate thought was fuck you. Like like no, like it can be on anything. And this honestly, Revenge of the Sith is so clone light, like they don't have an amazing amount of screen time in that movie if you actually sit back and think about it.
If I remember correctly, too, I think TVC already has a 501st clone on a Clone Wars and a Revenge of the Sith card back.
Sure.
So this is just a way for them to put it out and get collectors to buy it again.
Right. But my thing is, like, in the Kenobi series, you do get this great shot just looking right at it, not even an action shot, just a there shot. And I'm like, I don't care. I mean, I'm a sucker for the Kenobi show to begin with. I like the presentation.
Yeah, I have my Black Series Commander Appo on my Kenobi shelf.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I think this is, for me, this is one of those streams where, like, with the TVC stuff, like, this whole stream, I've yet to be, like, vehemently angry about a figure. Like, it's just, I'm pretty content with Black Series right now in general. So I'm not as angry as I used to be,
Right. No, and that's it's just, you don't got to get mad about your toys.
No.
Toys.
Well, sometimes it's warranted, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes they have earned a reaction.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Real quick, just to catch up on chat again.
Yeah.
We had Fig dip out because I know he's at work. So thank you, Fig, for popping in and saying hi. So we have Classic joining us. How you doing? Hope we had a nice start to the year. So far, so good. But there's about 330 days left, so there's time. And Hasbro doesn't need to reveal new figures if they get leaked anyways. And fair. And, I think that's honestly why they do want to try and stream more often. Because there's no way that they're not aware of these factory leaks going on. Like, they have to be aware. They might not know who's doing it, but, they know that it's happening. So,
this might also be like for Hasbro, them making streams more consistent might be a way not to combat the leaks, but just to keep stuff coming so that way people don't feel like, well, now I know the next 2 years of the Black Series and I have to wait 5 months for these to be officially revealed. They're just going to start drip feeding. And I was going to let you know that I have on good authority that a Black Series Mando Super Commando is 100% coming as a mainline figure.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some very, very good leaks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very solid rumor list out there.
Yeah.
But so until we'll do that. We'll do everything in order. So that's all of the single pack TVC.
And these are all mainline for pre-order tomorrow at 1 p.m. Right?
Tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yeah. I think this is the next wave, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. So up next, they really hit me at home. They came for what I wanted. And
did you see that you could see the Anakin from the beginning of the stream? You could see his head poking out behind the table the whole time.
I didn't.
Between Hope and Jing, you could see the top of his head and his lightsaber poking out of the table.
It happens.
Yeah.
Things happen. But no, I was at work, and unfortunately I don't have the luxury of just hiding somewhere and watching Hasbro streams for 20 minutes.
Right.
So I was kind of working on a project with my phone on a shelf next to me. And then I'd say, and next, and I'd come and look for a couple of seconds, and then I'd get back to what I was doing and just kind of listen to them talk about things. So it was kind of nice when I finally got to my lunch break. I was looking at some of the promo photos that were getting put up, and really, really getting to focus in then. But, there's some good, there's some bad here. So this is an Anakin based on his early Clone Wars appearance, which is probably my favorite Anakin costume. I'm incredibly Clone Wars minded, Clone Wars preferring. That is my childhood. I know that you are in a similar place.
Oh, dude.
Grew up on Clone Wars.
Dave Filoni is George Lucas's Padawan. And in my opinion, there is nothing that he could do that would piss me off, because I know that at the end of the day, he's coming from the place of a fan with passion and not from corporate greed or some other perspective.
Mm-hmm. Dave is the one that I trust most with the future of this franchise.
Yeah, I agree.
But so I'm sitting here, and I'm a lover of soft goods, right? And our first Clone Wars Anakin wasn't an awful figure, but it didn't have a
But
Hayden
now that
likeness.
I've seen this,
right, it needed a Hayden likeness. For whatever reason, they decided to make the animated model look lifelike instead of make it look like Hayden. So we've got the Hayden likeness. That's an improvement. I love me some soft goods. They've done soft goods on this whole tunic. And you know what? And I've said it earlier today a few times, a few places, but that soft tunic would be so good for the articulation that these 12-year-old limbs do not have. I mean, this is rough. Like, Anakin's like my most favorite, like prequel character. And I'm just sitting here looking at, if I ever bend these legs, he's going to look like he's had his kneecap removed. You have this big gaping hole in the front of the knee, on these ancient legs. The arms aren't the worst, but the legs just, I don't get why they keep using these legs. It's like the collecting community has not made it a secret that we don't like them. Go on any video that talks about any Anakin figure or any rumor list about an upcoming Anakin. I hope it's a new sculpt. The old legs are horrible.
I think Commander Cook is hitting the nail on the head with this one. In the chat here, him and Figure Ball too.
Beginning of the line.
Yeah.
So, and how are we getting 11-year-old legs on the main character from the prequels? Like, I'm gonna be honest, from the waist up, I love this. Like, tunic, great. Arms, a little old, but whatever. Like, they're fine. They get 90 degrees. That's all I need. The likeness, amazing. What's going on? Like, why is there not budget for this? Like, there is a rumor, a very strong rumor, that there's a new Revenge of the Sith Anakin coming this year.
It's 100% coming in 2025.
Right. And with anything, they could reuse a part for any piece, but the belief, the preference, the prayer is that it is a head-to-toe new sculpt that has no reuse. You want a great likeness and modern 2025 standards of articulation. And I'm going to be honest, if this Anakin comes out and they decide to make a new Anakin from the waist up because the old legs are good enough, I'm not buying it. I'm just not doing it. And I will laugh at those that do.
See, this one is such a mixed bag for me. I'm going to preface this with, I'm picking this up on a pre-order tomorrow. So I'm not passing. What's that?
Begrudgingly, I'm doing it.
This figure is going to be a pickup for sure. Now, I'm interested to see the soft goods, because I am happy that they're doing the soft goods following through the torso, because it's very easy to do now that they do a lot of the belts as overlays instead of separate pieces, so now they can just make it'd be one piece of soft goods that flows through. I am a little worried about the chest armor that sits on top. I'm interested to see if that'll ride too high, because not in this picture, but in some of the pictures that are not shown here, you can see the tabs on the O-rings on the shoulder armor really, really clearly, and it looks like there's a big gap. Now, that could just be the way that the figure was posed. So I'm interested to see that when I get the figure. The face, look, this is the biggest offender of the face looking not that great in promo photos, but in hand looking way better.
Yeah. Mr. Stevie had some photos of it posted that were like really zoomed in on the head, and it looked really, really good. Like,
yeah. And honestly, though, like you said, man, for me, it's them doing the 2013 legs again. This is, regardless of your opinion on, your specific copy of the figure having issues or not, the vast majority of people that I talk to have issues with this figure's ankles being loose, and the knees on this one are probably some of the worst in the entire line when it comes to that blocky, gappy, double-jointed look. And I feel like in 2025, the Black Series should be beyond that as some of the chat said, for the main character of the prequels.
It's just, this is supposed to be, and I know your interview of Daryl the Priest is a kid's toy line that's just supposed to be nice enough that the adults might like it.
Yeah.
But it is Hasbro's most expensive line right now. It is the most premium that they are making. And if this is what they're calling premium, then just what are we doing?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's Anakin freaking Skywalker. Like, dude, like I we talked about it a few minutes ago. When that Mandalorian comes, it's going to be on the Jango body. It's just what it's going to be. And you know what?
Yep.
For a blink and you miss it cameo clone, I do expect that from Hasbro. But this is Anakin Skywalker. This was the most talked about Star Wars moment of the last 10 years when he shows up in the World Between Worlds, and you are going to spit on it. Like, it is disrespectful to the franchise to make a product this bad. And I see Figureball says, find God and buy the figure arts. I have the figure arts. You know what? Figure arts are bullshit. They don't even look that good anyway. The likeness is trash. Every joint has a big circle cut out in front of it for these big swivel disc hinges. It's like a Figma. It's like an anime figure. You know what? They're all garbage. There is no good 1/12 Anakin figure yet.
The SHF in SH Figure Art stands for shithole figures. So that's what the SHF stands for.
Right.
I say that because I'm salty about my Rey figure having the wrist peg snap.
Right. This is just annoying and frustrating. And I from the waist down, I despise it, and I'm angry that I'm spending money on it. But I hate the Clone Wars Anakin that we have already enough because of the lack of Hayden likeness. And I have spent the last 3 years looking for a custom head sculpt for it that would satisfy me. And I've not found an option that actually looks like Hayden and isn't like a $300 Fett clone head. So, and that for me, at the end of the day, that this is still, even as much as I despise these legs, this is still a massive upgrade over the existing look of this character. I'm buying it for this.
Yeah, I'm buying it for the waist up, pretty much. Yeah.
Like, I'm here for the face value.
Now, I got to say, too, if it was for Hasbro, if this was a way for them to reuse this body so that they could have either the budget or the tooling to do a brand new Revenge of the Sith Anakin head to toe, because I know that's how it works. You got to reuse where you can and then make new figures where you can. If that's the case, and as long as the Revenge of the Sith Anakin is brand new head to toe, I won't care, because that to me is a way more iconic look for him than this one is.
I hear you. I understand you, but they also love to reuse everything they possibly can.
Don't say it.
This was their opportunity to use the new mold twice in 1 year.
Don't say it. Don't even suggest that they would in 2025. Could you imagine if they just straight repacked the 2013 Revenge of the Sith Anakin and said, "Hey guys, here's Peanut Head Obi-Wan and Anakin again, but they're on Revenge of the Sith card back."
We're Star Wars fans. What if we just found the social medias of the Hasbro employees and did to them what we did to Kelly Marie Tran?
Dude.
Maybe.
That's crazy. Oh, God. Anyways.
This one cured my insufferable rage.
Gotta say, bro, this was such a pleasant surprise. I was so pleasantly surprised with how good this figure turned out, with how much I know you and I have had so many conversations being like, I'm really nervous for this Captain Rex because those holsters look so bad. But now they don't.
We had seen the leak. There's a leaked photo of this figure where I don't even think he had arms. I think it was the chest and the legs and the comma.
Yeah. Yep.
And like and it was kind of from the side, and it was like, it just looked like a lot of holster, which, don't get me wrong, this is a lot of holster, but that's just the Ahsoka series design.
Right.
But I was kind of like preemptively in a mindset of like, this probably isn't going to be very good. It was actually to the point that I decided I was going to pass on it, but I decided to buy the Veils Phase 1 Rex because I wanted to compare them, because the leaked photos looked so bad that I was confident the Veils Rex was going to be a better figure. In hindsight, I think Hasbro has smoked it, which is how I would like it to be.
I agree.
And I mean, this is just beautiful. I mean,
I'm proud of them for putting it on the 2023 body.
Oh yeah.
I thought for sure that they were going to finagle some amalgamation of the ARC Trooper body so they could reuse that helmet. And I was like, this is going to have some weird Frankenstein articulation scheme, but it's all new. And I'm honestly, again, I'm happy with how the pauldron looks. He's got that Velveeta mac and cheese hair going on, but
yeah, I don't know what the obsession is.
Like, hey, helmet was going to be on for this figure anyway. So
yeah, I just don't get how they watch the show and they're like, he's got a blonde buzz cut. Like, bro is bald in the show. Bro shaves his hair in the show, but
it's definitely bleach blonde. But I don't think it's as long as they make it.
It's like he dyes it and then shaves it, and so there's like a tint difference there.
Bro's just Slim Shady.
Right. Really, I mean, bro is just smooth as smooth gets.
Yeah.
And then he comes here just textured as can be. And so I don't know. But it's like you said, the helmet stays on. It don't matter.
Yeah, this is a pickup all day. I mean, regardless of it just being a clone trooper and me wanting it for that. This is a such, and honestly, it is probably going to go as like my biggest like underrated figure of the year, because I thought, and so many of us thought, this was going to be such a bad figure. And I know people that were in your boat of like, yeah, I'm going to buy the Veils just to play it safe, because I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I think they got the proportions down on this one. I think everything just looks, I look at it and I think it looks like Captain Rex, and I think he'll fit in perfectly with my other clones. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, they nailed it here. The one thing I'm slightly thinking, it looks better than I thought it would. There is a little voice in the back of my head saying like belt swap, get like a Clone Wars accurate pistols, like holsters.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't be hard to do, and it wouldn't be destructive. It could be undone. But maybe that might be a mod video down the road. But I want to get this in hand. I want to see it. And classic. I mean, the Veils one is not a bad figure. I reviewed it. I like it. Like, I don't really have any gripes, but it just is what it is. And your helmet's too big. I think this looks fine. So.
It's just the reality of if Hasbro was doing swappable heads and the helmets were that big, then I think it'd be fair if we all complained. But they have to make it big enough to fit over the figure's head if they are committed to doing removable helmets. And that's what toy lines do sometimes, And there's a lot of people in the camp of don't switch to swappable heads. So
I'm in that camp. I mean, I like the function of it. I like the idea of the swappable helmet. I know it makes it a little bit bigger. I think that it's ridiculous looking on the 375s, because like those helmets have to be because they have to make the plastic so thick to be, durable and, to whatever Hasbro's level of standard is. But so, I mean, I know that some of the removable 375 helmets make them look like a Funko Pop, but this isn't bad.
If they have a pauldron for the 3.75 figures, then it's not as egregious. But for the figures that are just straight troopers and they have removable helmets, it's bobblehead. Yeah. But it's a toy. At the end of the day, it's a toy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not, I would want the truest of the true proportions on a hot toy or something. Like, this is
right. Exactly.
This is fine. This is good. I love it. So, I mean, like the removable helmet thing, it's just fun. It's just fun, like knowing that the guy is under there. I mean, and some of my favorite poses for my wreckers are him wearing the helmet like a hat, like he does sometimes.
I do that. Yep, I do.
Like,
that.
I mean, and it works. It does sit just on the ears, just right. Yep. And it's like, like this is good.
Yeah.
But no, they. I mean, Hasbro, dropped the ball on the Anakin. It shouldn't shock me. It's only the 5th Anakin in a row, but the Captain Rex. A very pleasant surprise. I'm incredibly excited for this.
Yeah,
But
and honestly, it's a pickup. So both the Black Series reveals today were pickups for me, and I'm picking up one of the TVCs. So
yeah, I mean, that's
all,
pretty good.
it's pretty good ratio.
All right.
Now
Then,
this,
just to wrap it up, I've seen some comments, and I guess I never had an opinion before looking today, but they're doing another one of their build up battle droid packs.
oh, dude, what a great set!
Do you have any of the TVC battle droids?
I do not.
So apparently they don't have wrist articulation. Apparently they lack the ability to turn their left hand flat to like hold the blaster. So like in this photo, you can see it. He's just resting it on the side of his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Apparently it's like a 15-year-old sculpt. People were saying like 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna like bitch. Like I think objectively they look fine, but man, I mean, give him a wrist swivel. Like, come on, Hasbro. That's
Or just make the offhand out like this.
Yeah, do what Lego does and just permanently have the one hand turned and the other like straight. Like,
I always have to commend Hasbro though for giving bendy knees to battle droids.
Oh yeah,
having been a kid that had the Clone Wars battle droids, if you remember, the animated battle droids did not have bendy knees or ankles. It was just a hip.
Yep.
So, and they did say something about new legs on these guys, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look fine.
They look good. I mean, and for army builder people, you know, we have we have 3. They're all right here of the Clone Trooper army builder packs. 3 different versions. So it's good to finally get some battle droids to pit against those Clone Troopers.
Heck yeah. But no, I mean, I think this is really cool. And you know what this really truly does? It acknowledges that Hasbro is aware that in fact there are battle droids of yellow markings that are commanders.
There are, yeah.
There's no excuse, Hasbro. So, hey, I see something.
What do you see?
Hey,
Skibbity Hunter.
What's going on?
How's the back feeling, brother?
Get your back dude, it's the collarbone that was bothering.
Collarbone.
Yeah.
So,
dang, we'll just have to take one from Fig Fury. He seems to have the money to replace his parts.
So.
But what's going on, dude?
Not a whole lot, man. Not a whole lot.
Better late than never, I always say.
Yeah. That's my mistake. I didn't realize you know, I forgot what time we start the streams. I thought they were at like 7 o'clock.
Well, this one, and actually this is your doing, because you wake up at like 1 a.m. for work. And so I thought I'd be kind and shifted a little earlier in the afternoon than our hangout streams.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, I'll pick 6 because then we'll just talk for a little bit, and then there's time after if Hunter wants to get on Xbox or something. and then bro bails.
Well, I will say there will be no Xbox playing tonight for me because I know we're not going to.
What was the point?
Boo!
Boo! Your boy got some
also not getting on Xbox tonight.
Your boy got some pickups tonight. I might chat, but like, I got some stuff to open.
Something spooky? Something beyond our astral plane?
Something just under 51 pounds, you know?
Just under 51
pounds.
pounds.
You actually got it.
So it can't be any of my exes.
Dude. When we were doing my live stream this morning, and they brought out the ghost and said, "We've loved that everyone's been getting their ghosts," and everyone in my live stream went, "Not Hunter, not Hunter."
Bro.
Where's Hunter's ghost, Hasbro? Where is it?
Yeah, 1 month late, dude. 1 month late.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the one I get for myself, you know.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's the gift of giving, Hunter. It's not about receiving. So, I will say, speaking of ghosts, my 3D printer has been running like mad on little diorama bits. I'm getting ready to start building that in the next couple of days.
Are those the scaled down versions of the ones you made me a few years ago?
Yeah, I scaled these down to 60%. So
That's cool.
I don't think I have a 3-inch hanging around my desk right now. I definitely don't. But
I mean, you could show us a 3-inch, but it'd probably be on the stream.
it wouldn't be 3 inches. It would be like a lot less.
Oh, well, that's still a lot, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more like Mission Fleet,
Mission Fleet.
So, somewhere between Micro Galaxy and Mission Fleet.
Galaxy
Yeah, I got some Mission Fleet right here.
Hey,
here's Hunter's favorite Jedi.
So
nice.
But yeah, we were just basically at the end of the list. But Hunter, did you have a favorite announcement today?
I mean, out of everything, I'm going to be getting the Anakin.
Is that your one and only pickup?
Probably. I mean, maybe I'll get the droids because I don't know. I've been, you know me. I'm into the 3 3/4 inch vehicles. I've been looking at like 30th anniversary packaging, like AAT droid.
That's a
tank.
cool one. I had that one as a kid.
And I feel like that 4-pack would be awesome to throw on there. And then like you put a stap or something next to it, it'd be perfect.
Heck yeah.
Do you I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the Captain Rex, because I know you and I and all three of us, we've had conversations about how we thought this figure was going to be really bad, and then me and Hybrid were saying it was a pleasant surprise on how good it turned out. Or what are your thoughts on it?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed, and it reminds me of when I had a Captain Rex figure as a kid. Looking at it, that's literally what it reminds me of. And I will say, I think it looks better because it looks less like the Ahsoka show as much as it does more look like a general Phase 1 Rex. Because it doesn't, like the Hot Toys had like the hyper accurate Phase 1 look of Captain Rex from the Ahsoka show.
With the helmet and everything,
With the helmet being totally brand new to only that live action appearance. And this I like way more. I think this is a perfect Phase 1 Rex.
See, generally...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Hunter.
I was just going to say, like, if you just wanted a Phase 1 Rex, I feel like you could totally look over the blaster holsters. And, I mean, the overall picture of that Phase 1 Rex looks great to me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think, like, generally, it's kind of funny because I'm such a nitpicker when it comes to, like, Clone Trooper designs. But when it comes to Black Series, I like my Clone Troopers to all look, the armor to all look the same. Because then they all look like a cohesive unit, even if they're from different like legions and stuff. I like that this is just the Black Series Clone Trooper with a couple new parts, and for that reason, I'm able to just stick it on any shelf in my collection that already has Clone Troopers, and he'll fit right in.
Yeah, I was doing some cabinet rearranging in the last few weeks. And I had to purge all of my 2013 clone bodies. I kept the 20s. I was like, those are close enough minus the shoulder pads. Like,
well, they're still making some clones on the 20 body too.
I kept a select few 2013s. I kept the 442nds, but I had to purge. they looked so radically different, and they are so outnumbered by the new bodies at this point that I just had to let them go. I have a little cousin, Garrett, who was very happy to get that Walmart bag full of 10 figures. Very much one man's trash is another's treasure. He has been geeking all week about it. So I feel good about that. But awesome. I'm with you, Hunter, on this. The one thing that really does remind me of like the childhood Captain Rex figure is, I mean, like the holsters that are molded to the rubber comma. That's just how Hasbro did it back in the day. I mean, I do have some sentimental feelings on this that are kind of there. So,
and I will say, going forward, if they do Phase 1 commanders, if they do like Keeley, if they do Jet, if they use that pauldron, going forward, I have no issues with that.
It's the perfect blend of that Clone Wars into live action.
Yep.
Like
that's one that I have a weird opinion on. Now I know that back in the day, there is a behind the scenes of like, I don't remember if it's the Clone Wars movie or season 1, but the designers of the CG models did say specifically that the pauldrons are meant to be Revenge of the Sith style pauldrons on Phase 1 clones.
Like how Vales did it.
Yes. With that said, though, that was what was understood as what they were doing at the time. Now, the costuming department for Ahsoka, because we've never seen Phase 1 Captain Rex in live action, they made that choice to make that pauldron look that way. So whether that's just Captain Rex specifically looks that way, because he already customizes his armor, or that's just what they're going to be doing for the animated Phase 1 commanders going forward, I'm just accepting that as what is canon rather than rejecting it. I know there's my favorite guy on Instagram, the guy that just nitpicks Micro Galaxy Squadron clones.
Right.
I had, not to name his name. I don't want to give him any clout, but he complains about this. But from the perspective of someone who, is part of the costuming part of Star Wars, well, if this is what they're doing, then this is what I expect to be consistent going forward for the Phase 1 commanders. So like you said, that's a long-winded way of saying, for that reason, I agree with you that if they do more Phase 1 commanders, I will not be upset about this pauldron design.
Yeah. No, it has now become canon.
Yes.
And I kind of have I kind of have a thought on it. I actually had someone go to the comment section of my Veils review earlier after this got announced to talk about how they think, that things on this were better because they think it should have a Revenge of the Sith style pauldron. And my honest take is and I get that original behind the scenes was it's like a Revenge of the Sith pauldron just stylized. But when we got the Phase 2 armor in the Clone Wars, Rex's pauldron then did become very Revenge of the Sith like, whereas the shoulder portion was a flared, laid on, whereas this is just a part of it. And I kind of always just figured that when they got the Phase 2 armor, they rolled out a new pauldron design. They recalled this one and they sent out the new one that's a little more layered. And I have no gripes for this. And yeah, I mean, like you said, if they want to do a whole run of clone commanders built just like this with different paint, here for it. Do it. I actually encourage it. Like, I'll buy every one.
Yeah.
So
this is Ahsoka.
Go ahead, Hunter.
I will say I agree. I enjoy seeing Phase 1 and Phase 1 and Phase 2. I enjoy seeing them distinctly different between the pauldrons and the commas, because the armor looks too similar. They say it's, like going from Phase 1 to Phase 2, it was changed for like trooper mobility, better to fit them. But I feel like that's just a canon thing.
Visually, it's no different. I
was about to say visually, it's not different at all. So it would bother me if the only difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2 was a helmet change.
Yeah.
I like seeing the difference in pauldron and even the comma, just the overall gear, that they, attachments that they wear and stuff. I don't mind seeing the difference in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hybrid, your cat Ahsoka heard us talking about Rex and had to check up.
Yeah, she had to check in. No, honestly, there's just no thoughts in that head, and she wants fed, but it's just what it is.
So I did want to get your guys' thoughts on, because Mr. Stevie made his little placeholder post on Instagram yesterday, and there was a lot of speculation on the colors that he made a big deal about.
I got it pegged.
And the Clone Trooper theme song being the thing. So we were throwing around theories of, okay, well, I don't think Mr. Stevie would be into it enough to specifically choose the Clone Wars. I think he just typed in clone and just hit whatever popped up first. I gotta say, dude, I feel like that was a little misleading, because regardless of what you thought the figures were going to be, I think we all assumed that the colors he chose meant something, when really, I guess it just meant nothing at all. He just was like, yeah, here's 4 random colors for these figures. And I got to say, I mean, we were on my live stream this morning, we were speculating all the different theories of what this could mean. And then it meant nothing at all. So I felt that was kind of lame.
No, I know what it means.
What does it mean?
Remember, Stevie is through and through a 375 fan. He does not care about 6-inch.
Good point.
So the three colors were yellow, red, blue, and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 colors. So I'm just saying, just roll up, right?
I'm with Hybrid. I know where he's going.
The red is the Mando, the blue is the Clone Trooper, the yellow is for the Commander, and I'm guessing the white is probably the backdrops on the Balin and shit.
Yeah.
So there's your 4 colors right there. And so he picked 4 colors, and then he said, well, fuck these 2, I don't care about them. So that's Stevie's post.
That's because he thinks that there should be one 5-inch line that collectors should do for Star Wars instead of 2 different scales, because people don't collect 2 scales at the same time.
Right. So, no, actually, I actually have a full-blown theory on it. So, Sentimentality is for the old and dying. Cut TVC. Push that funding towards Black Series. No one is buying these Hero Series 4-inch 5 POA Darth Vaders. Cut funding to that. Kids don't want toys, they want Robux. Quit doing these flick out lightsabers that no one gives a shit about. Push all the funding towards Black Series. And then give me some new fucking Anakin legs.
Give me a HasLab so I can get enough Anakin legs to replace it on my existing figures.
Is that what it takes? Do we need to get a HasLab Black Series Anakin Skywalker? And
Anakin's amputees will call it.
Us just inch by inch you pull out. Like I need a good Black Series Anakin. We don't have one yet. The only good Black Series Anakin is Kid Anakin, and that is shameful.
That's true.
It is the only good Black Series Anakin.
I ain't gonna lie. I got something to say about this Anakin.
Say it.
Yes, E with the hot takes always.
It is a great Ahsoka series Anakin, but I will not consider this a Clone Wars Anakin.
Okay. Even though it's a Clone Wars flashback. Okay, wait. Let me try and pick up what you're putting down here. Because I will not be putting this on my Clone Wars shelf. This is going on my Ahsoka series shelf.
That's the way I view it.
Okay.
New Anakin.
I view it.
Open the digital file and stretch them out and then print them. Like, come on.
No, I view it as a great figure. They match the likeness to the Ahsoka show like perfect. To that flashback, I mean, he looks fantastic. Like the likeness and the face, and like even that they adapted the shoulder armors to like look more accurate to how Hayden Christensen wore the armor in the show. You know, so like I think it looks fantastic for that. But I'm not going to be posing this as a Clone Wars Anakin.
I will say I agree with you there, because this is going on the Ahsoka shelf. I have a part of my Ahsoka shelf for the flashback figures, and that is where this will go.
No, my flashback figures are going right at the point of time they're from. My argument
That's fair too.
My argument being that this is Ahsoka as she remembers Anakin in the Clone Wars, meaning that this is Clone Wars Anakin. I liked the hair. I like that it's shorter than Revenge of the Sith, because he was going from a buzz cut to a mullet and he had 3 years to do it. And it takes about 3 years to grow it. I've done it before. So it was a really bad time. I got bullied a lot in middle school, but I like the hair. I like the likeness. They didn't de-age him a lot in the Ahsoka series, so he kind of has like the forehead wrinkles and stuff.
Yeah,
they didn't do that on the figure, and like the close-up face sculpt photos.
Yeah,
like, didn't include it, which means that they just sculpted it like a younger Hayden. And the Clone Wars Anakin we have was an adaptation of the animated version. Meaning that the armor pieces that they made for the chest and everything aren't even what they looked like anyway. It was just, what if we take the animated and make it live action? So like this is what it really looked like during the Clone Wars. Like if they were going to go and do a live action Clone Wars special thing on Disney Plus or something, this is what all the Jedi would be wearing. They've at this point, like with the Rex Pauldron, they have said this is what this looks like in real life. So he's leading all my clones. Like this.
I will say, I think they did a good job of just making the face be like a 20-year-old Anakin Skywalker, as opposed to trying to do the de-aged Hayden Christensen like special effects on this head sculpt. I think they were smart to not try and include all the wrinkles and stuff that you were talking about. Give him the baby face, and I'm happy.
I might have to look at this one side by side with the Attack of the Clones version, like Padawan Anakin, because to me he still seems too mature looking in the face. He looks too old to me compared to your Attack of the Clones Anakin.
Well, the Attack of the Clones Anakin is a whiny little baby back bitch.
Well, that's
I got no problem,
Anakin, dude.
Oh, here, I got you. I got you right here. I know what I can show you. You may have already seen this today, but Mr. Stevie posted this. But it is a really good close-up look at Anakin. Like, there is none of the age marks or anything. Like, this looks like a 20-year-old man to me. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and there's Captain Rex with the Velveeta cheese hair, right front and center.
No, he's bald.
He's supposed to be bald.
He's supposed to be. He got the Slim Shady cut, I was saying.
Yeah. They cut some tan carpet out of a 2008 Chrysler Town and Country and stapled it to his head. And that's his hair, apparently, in the Clone Wars, even though he bicked it every day.
So, I mean, honestly, for me, I mean, again, it was a pretty light stream, but as long as I'm planning on picking up both the Black Series reveals, I got no hate towards the stream. And if they are consistent, if they follow through and are more consistent with doing either every month or even every other month, as opposed to once every 4 or 5 months for a stream, I will be completely fine with getting only 2 or 3 at a time for reveals.
Well, because what's going to happen in between is they still are going to randomly announce, pre-order at Target this weekend, this year's Target exclusive. Like, there's going to be there will be things in between, between the streams. There always have been, and things like the Gift the Galaxy and Andor Tuesdays or whatever. Like, that's not that's a Lucasfilm thing. That's not a Hasbro thing. So they will have times that they are obligated to make announcements outside of a monthly live stream anyway. So.
Yeah, and the other thing too, they're absolutely going to just have a huge dump of reveals for Celebration, for San Diego Actually, I think San Diego Comic-Con is just going to be the HasLab. I think that's going to be their next HasLab.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Because I think this is coming from our sources that shouldn't be named. But there is talk of a HasLab. We don't know which scale, just that there is a HasLab that will be happening at some point, like in the summer of this year. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting.
I agree.
We talked a little on Xbox the other night about how cool it would be for them to say this is finally the time to let Black Series have another crack after like 3 TVCs in a row.
I won't lie, man. I will be pretty disappointed if it's another vintage collection. If they do 3 back-to-back in like 3 years in a row, and there you go. The figure ball might have just hit the nail on the head. Black Series HasLab in 2025. So, I mean, we could all be surprised, and it could be like a out of left field. For me, I will probably be disappointed in whatever it is, unless it's like, and I know I told Hybrid this last night, a properly 3 3/4 scaled Republic gunship. That's like the only thing that I could think of that I would be like excited for in TVC. Wow. Because we just got an original trilogy. We just got a Rebels one. I would like to have let's carry the prequel love over with a prequel HasLab. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, I do get it from Hasbro. Like they technically had 2 failed Black Series HasLabs in a row. So that just goes to show that it's not something that community wants, according to the numbers, even though it's not true. But yeah, I don't know. And that's kind of my other thing is like, I could also totally see Hasbro being like, Yeah, we know it's the Revenge of the Sith 20th, and we know it's the Force Awakens 10th, and all this stuff. But this year's HasLab is going to be an Echo-based playset from the Empire Strikes Back, and it'll be cool for people. I know it will. Like, I'm sure it'll be, whatever they do will look cool, but it just won't pique my interest, man.
Yeah. No, basically, if it's there's nothing they could do in TVC at this point that could catch my eye. I only had a passive interest at best in the Ghost, and that's just because Rebels is my favorite Star Wars anything. And they couldn't do anything. If they did a gunship, if they did a ATTE, it would be a no. I mean, I got one for you to have that.
Let me hear it, Hunter.
What if they pulled a page out of Lego's book and gave you an ATTE with a drop ship?
Okay, that would be cool. That would be I would be in on that, bro. I won't lie.
Dude,
that sounds like a $600 HasLab.
You know what I'd also be in on, even though I feel like I feel like it would have to be similar in scale to the Ghost, though, would be if they did a Skeleton Crew Onyx Cinder.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be out. I'd be out on that.
That would be I think that would be super cool. And if they could figure out a way to do like the shell that removes, so like you can remove channels to give you the shiny version, I think that would be pretty sick.
Well, the Razor Crest has removable panels. You can like tear it down to where like the Jawas had it.
In season 1.
You can like take all the panels off. The only issue they ran into with that is a lot of the clips and stuff from the removable panels would break. A lot of people were reporting them breaking. So I was like, with mine, I was like, yeah, I ain't touching them.
Never happening.
Never gonna open those panels, dude.
Yep. Just is
there detail under there? Don't care.
Never will it see the light of day ever.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to. No, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, my thing is like, I ponder what Yak would know about a HasLab, because obviously dude doesn't cite his sources. I'm not saying that Yak doesn't have sources, but I would think that this early on, a HasLab would be something that would have such a small table of people that know about it. The highest on the Star Wars team. And I'm sorry, but Hope and Jing aren't telling Yak what's going on.
Well, like I will say too, on top of that, they might just be playing it closer to the chest in general, because both the Cantina and the Ghost got leaked before, like people like Yakface knew what it was before it actually was publicly revealed, and it wasn't like a Patrick Freudian slip where he says, and the Rancor, this was like people were making comments in reference to these new HasLabs weeks and months before they were officially revealed. And so who knows, they might just be playing it close to the chest and just give us a curveball come San Diego Comic-Con.
Because my thing is like the guy in Luke Ness's video, Luke Ness's source, had info about upcoming movie characters that hadn't leaked yet.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't know what scale it is. And this almost sounds like someone that would be the person giving Yak info,
Right.
Where it's like, if this guy doesn't know what scale it's going to be, then how can Yak already know what scale it's going to be?
Right.
Like, and now when it says, and I just ponder, like, where they say no Black Series HasLab in 2025, does that mean that it's then going to be a TVC HasLab, or does Yak just not know yet that it's going to be a Black Series HasLab? Because we're so overdue,
I won't lie too, man. I'm gonna be real. If they did a HasLab for an Interceptor and they only did Anakin's, I won't lie, I'd be a little disappointed.
Same.
I want the option to get both, because they are equally as iconic. They both show up in the same scene. They both get destroyed in the same scene. So it's not. I don't feel like it. I don't know. I would want both, is what I'm saying. And I feel like a lot of people would want both of these ships.
I don't like the idea of removable. Go ahead.
If you could only get one, Anakin's would make sense.
Yes, because he's the main character. Yeah.
Right. But we were talking a little on the logistics of this the other night, where how do you do that? Because like it can't be like the Ghost, where for $100 extra, you can get some extra pieces added, or not the Ghost, the Cantina.
Yeah.
But like, would it just be like, how would you count the units? Would it be when you order, you only order one or the other, or there's an option to buy both of them, even if it's not at a discount? It's just 300 for each ship, spend 600, get the pair. But then, like, what happens if there's 10,000 Anakins ordered and 3,000 Obi-Wans ordered? Because I think that if they were competing, the Anakin would probably edge out the Obi-Wan. And what do you do then if Hasbro doesn't want to make it, unless the minimum backing is 8,000 units hypothetically? And what if the Anakin hits 10,000 and the Obi-Wan only hits 6,000? Like, then what happens there for the people that bought the set? I almost think, especially also of tiers, where if you were going to do a figure tier, an Anakin or an Obi-Wan with their headgear, you would then have to have specialized tiers for each version, even if everything from then on was a flight stand, stuff that would be the same. I almost think it would work better if they were like two separate HasLabs, but they started at the same time running next to each other.
I could see that. Now, I gotta say, I gotta go on a classic Tommy just say you're broke rant with Jonah's comment here, because I think he hit the nail on the head with the sticker shock thing. But there are so many people that complain that the STAP was too expensive at $50. Mm-hmm. When you are complaining that the STAP with a battle droid is too expensive at $50 as a brand new vehicle in the Black Series, it's essentially a $25 STAP because you're paying $25 for the battle droid. Just say you're broke, bro. If you can't fathom it, that's one thing too. If you just can't afford it, that's fine. Every different strokes for different folks. I understand everyone has a different like situation with their income and stuff. But don't go complaining on every single forum and comment section ever that it's too expensive. No one can afford it. No, bro, you can't afford it. And it drives me crazy that Black Series has this weird thing going on with its customer base where anything over $25 is considered outrageous.
Right.
Especially with how high the quality is for Black Series right now. We have made so many leaps and bounds in face printing technology, articulation, the quality of the plastic of the figures. Things are just happening recently. The overlays are a great new system. I think it warrants going from $19.99 to $24.99. And honestly, that's my as much as I pitch HasLabs and stuff, and I like to think, it's all wishful thinking. I do think that no matter what, a Black Series HasLab is doomed to fail because there's just such a strong part of the community that will not buy anything over $25.
I remember when the STAP got announced and, the first thing you see is the photos and then they talk later about the price. I just remember seeing the figure and the STAP and the weathering on the STAP and the cool 1138 on the backpack of the battle droid. I just remember being impressed by it and going, wow, I'll spend the $60 on that. And then they said, pre-order tomorrow at 1 on Hasbro Pulse, for $50. And I'm like, what? And then the immediate reaction of too much. And I'm like, what do you mean too much? Like, this is a bargain. Like, it's
Mall was
I
what?
consider it the same value as the Mall,
Mall was 60 or 65, right?
60, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean
$59.99, yeah.
The volume of the STAP is a bigger vehicle. I mean, the size of it is bigger, and it was $10 cheaper.
Right. And they didn't even charge you for the fancy retro box. They always up at $5-10 just because, like the retro card, 40th anniversary of the OT figures were always 27 instead of 25. So
coffee, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude had to drop the
just say you're broke.
Just say you're broke, bro.
We summoned it earlier when I said that figure arts are shit. So
the shithole figures, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they make model kits is for brokies,
Right.
Yeah,
really
and
that articulation that drives your price up.
There's been a couple people in here in the chat as well that are talking about the these same people that complain about the price of stuff will scramble to go buy a $45 2-pack or a $70 3-pack. They're running to go get it, but all of a sudden when it's a vehicle, they're like, "Oh, I only see one figure, so therefore it should be $25."
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me, and I mean, y'all know me. I am the first person to call Hasbro out on their bullshit. You know, when you give me a figure that has no paint but is 6.5 inches tall and there's no accessories, but you call it deluxe, I will bitch, and I will bitch for months about it. Every opportunity.
But he big though.
These vehicles, the Phantom Menace vehicles, impressed me immensely.
I agree.
Like, I have zero gripes. I'm excited for the rumored Revenge of the Sith vehicles, which are happening. There's no way they're not happening this year.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, because we talked about this too. There was this rumor going around that depending on the sales of the Stap and the Mall Speeder, that was going to determine if we get an ATRT and a Bark this year. But it takes 18 months for something to land on store shelves for manufacturing, meaning that they couldn't have been using the sales for those things because they hit in like summer of 24, and they had less than 12 months from summer of 24 to, at this point, summer of 25. Right. So they have to have already made them. They have to be on the cargo ship coming from China now for them to hit in summer of this year. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the Stap and the Mall Speeder could have hit deep discount and they were still coming. They already made them.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm completely here. Like, I'm excited for this year. I think we're getting some good vehicles, HasLab or not. And just, I don't know, this stream was just a nice little start. I mean,
setting the tone for the year.
Right. If every month they want to show me like 2 or 3 cool Black Series that are upcoming, no complaints.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
So,
but
I got one HasLab.
One more thing.
Hang on a second, Connor. Let me make you big for this.
Would y'all buy an MTT if they made one?
Like a PVC MTT?
Yeah, 3 3/4 inch MTT.
No,
dude, you're really?
I think it would be cool, and when I come to your house, I would admire whatever one you end up with, but it's just not my thing.
I think if it had the feature where you could roll out the rack, because right now there's a 4-pack of battle droids. I mean, hey, it would be pretty cool.
I think if they did it, I wonder if they would just reissue that one they made for the Phantom Menace, 15-year anniversary, whatever, 2012. I wonder if they would just reuse that, because then that kind of had a function, and it came packed with like battle droid statues, where they didn't have articulation, but it had like a tray that rolled out with them on it.
Right.
I had the Lego one back in the day.
Yeah. Because it's just weird. Like, how would you... I think that people would get hung... If you sold an MTT and you did it as like a HasLab TVC thing, I think people would want it to come stocked,
I agree.
They would want to have they would want to have like 20 battle droids with it. But if a TVC battle droid on a single card is worth $17, I mean, that's $300, ish of the price of entry.
So well, what are they charging for the 4-pack?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I think it was
the 4-pack. The 4-pack's probably like 60 or 65.
Yeah. But even if you ratioed it down like that, it's still like $250 in figures that are included, And maybe if they don't card them, if they just have them loose bagged, they save you a little cost there.
If they just do them because basically I wouldn't care. The MTT was just generally a shell that just held the rack, and that was the whole thing, was just the play feature. But at that point, I don't feel like it should be a HasLab. I feel like.
Here's another question. Like, if they did something like that, would you be okay with them just doing solid plastic molded collapsed battle droids that didn't fold into a figure?
Like some static, like power down.
Like ones where they just stood in place on the rack instead of you having to manually fold them into the perfect shape to fit on the rack, every single one.
He might be cooking here.
But that would be like Transformers, and I like Transformers.
Well, no, I'm just saying, because then you could like keep them on there. You could have the cool action of it sliding out with the battle droids, and then you could just have your own 3 3/4-inch figures that you just have like deployed, that you wouldn't have to like fold up every time, put them back in.
I would honestly be annoyed by having to fold up like 20 battle droid figures.
That's what I'm
like
saying,
that.
dude.
Unless
I like Lego.
I like Transformers.
And
that's like Transformers.
Okay, so then on the same line of thought, what what CIS vehicles or like big droids would you buy? Like the Octoptera droid, the Crab droid, like
none. How about none?
I mean, if they're gonna do, are you still saying it has to be a HasLab?
No. I'm just saying.
I think the only thing big enough to be a HasLab would be the troop transporter.
I think. I think for Black Series, I'd be in on like anything. But for TVC, I don't know that there's much that I'd be in on. You know, make it. Here we go. I want a blue one. I want red one. I got yellow battle droid. Are we gonna talk about battle droid brain rot now?
Right. No, all right.
There we go. Black Series Venator.
I'm here for it.
Yes. Easy money.
But no, I mean, I don't know. Like like basically nothing TVC would even tempt me. I mean, I would spitball about it. I would, if they did a HasLab TVC battle droid, anything, you know, I would look at it and be like, that's neat, and then proceed to not buy it. The only way I'd get it is if Hunter bought it for me. So that's
spitting, hybrid spitting.
But no, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'd prefer them to just steer away from TVC for a minute with the HasLab to this point. Is where
I feel like I'm at a point where like I'll back a HasLab to just help out like the Star Wars collecting community, and then at this point for TVC, I'm just gonna sell as soon as it comes to my house. Like I'm just gonna turn around and bring it to ICC Con for a room sale, or bring it to make $100 off it, and I made $100 profit. You know,
and you helped out.
Unless it was something absolutely insane.
Unfortunately, the really sucky thing is if they did another Black Series HasLab, it kind of doesn't matter what it is. I think everyone needs to back it because Hasbro has proven that they will punish us if they fail. Like, if you won't buy it, we won't make anything again.
That's too damn bad.
Like even if the Rancor had happened, because I was going to back it. I
backed one
with the pricing, but had it happened, by now it would be long gone. Like because I just don't care about that era anymore, and it would have been resold probably within a year or two of getting it. But so now it's like, man, if they come out and they're just, hey, you know, here's a Black Series HasLab that's the Cantina bar and 10 aliens, they're my most least favorite thing in all of Star Wars. And I would still do it on a prayer that 5 or 6 Black Series HasLabs down the road, I might finally get something from a good movie. Like, so.
Along the same lines, though, you want to hear something wild? If they do a Jedi Interceptor and it's only Anakin's, I will not buy it.
Bruh.
You gotta back one. You gotta back one to support the community.
I mean, maybe I would never keep it.
No,
how can you buy me one by not buying one at all?
Well, you could sell one to your good friend,
right? On the island.
Shut up, basement
Mail
dweller.
It to the island.
Get a load of this basement dweller right now from a neighboring state.
Oh my God. But for real, I mean, and the other thing, like, I don't care what it is. Like, if they could come out way out of left field and do some weird ass Yoda starfighter, you know, like whatever the Black Series HasLab, whatever the next one ends up being. I'm here for it. If it's from Star Wars Resistance, I'll buy it. You know,
that's where I'm at, dude. I'm backing, even if I plan to sell. Like, no matter what the next Black Series HasLab is, I'm backing because I'm tired of the.
They'll punish us. Like they will genuinely punish us if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's not like individual figures where if I don't buy it, it doesn't hurt.
Black Series HasLabs are 1/12 domestic violence. It's side with me or we'll hurt you. Like, bro, they're hurting me in here, and
what if they give you a Black Series Grievous head that has like real slimy eyes and like can actually cough and
Now let me show you something from my personal collection.
Star Wars Holiday Special Wookiee Treehouse. I'd back it.
I'm in. If it's Black Series HasLab, I'm backing.
For the tiers, it can be the holograms of the dancers. So
yes.
So Black Series Holiday Special Wookiee Treehouse with holocom tiers. I'm here for it.
What if it's a lightsaber? Y'all backing?
I have to. It's Black Series. They count it.
Yeah, they'll punish us if we don't.
They count it. I got
that one would actually hurt me because I'm a lightsaber snob. I look at the Hasbro ones and I'm like, that's crap. Like I like NeoPixels, but I would do it. I would begrudgingly do it.
Yeah.
It has a rainbow feature.
Right. So, this is Clone Trooper Sisters lightsaber.
CT Sisters lightsaber, don't
right,
you know?
Right. So,
dude,
but I don't know. I mean, there's got to be something. There has to be something coming.
I agree,
but I'm excited for where the year goes. I think today was a great way to just start us off. Just a little splash of what's coming. This unironically would be heat.
I'm backing that immediately.
Yeah. Bro, that'd be disgusting.
I would back it and I wouldn't sell it. I would keep it. I don't think that it would be that big. I think it could.
Dude.
And I don't think that it has to truly be 1-to-1 scale. It could be downsized a little bit.
I feel like it would be similar in size,
to the
if you were to stand it up, you know what I mean? Instead of having it this way, it would probably be similar in size to the First Order TIE Fighter, maybe a little taller.
Yeah, because it's flat. It's like an Interceptor, but just long. But it's even flatter than an Interceptor. It would probably be of similar size, probably to the Snowspeeder, just longer.
What are you guys doing? What do they say? I totally lost my train of thought. That's it. I'm done. Oh, what are you guys doing when Hot Toys drops the Anakin's Jedi Interceptor this year?
Passing.
You guys buying or no?
No.
I'm gonna have, dude. I'd love to see Unko Skibbity with a 1/6 scale Jedi Interceptor, dude.
Oh man, I would. That would actually cause pain. It wouldn't be some trashy, ARC 170. It'd be something cool. But
bro would throw out his back on that one.
Your dad almost blew out his other gun, picked up your ghost in that photo.
Bro will be showing up to the next ICC in a wheelchair.
Right.
He's gonna be Professor X cosplay for the remaining ICC cons.
So, the Rancor Battalion HasLab just for Tommy.
If they came out in TVC, if Black Series ever reveals a Commander Blitz, I'm selling my whole collection and switching to Power Rangers.
That's a dangerous game. For starters, we'd have to bully you. So.
Dude, we were saying on my live stream this morning, we were saying that there could be a Star Wars, that Mr. Stevie's post was a Star Wars Power Rangers crossover.
Crossover.
There's going to be Power Ranger Clone Troopers, and then you could really be like, I want a red one. I want a blue one. I want green one.
Finally, some clones I don't have to buy. But I feel satisfied. I feel we yapped. So
for sure.
I know that Tommy has to single-handedly go defend his city tonight. So.
I also have to evacuate my thorax. I won't lie.
Wow. So it's unpleasant. So I'm actually going to go do the same. I'm going to go get my old Clone Wars Anakin for a good wipe and get rid of that thing.
And I got to just give a shout out. I got a zebra on my mug today. Shout out to the Zoo Boy from Monday Night Figure Ball for giving me the Bad Batch figures.
Speaking of Clone Wars Anakin, about to open this puppy.
Nice.
Mid.
So, anyway, thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. And as always, stay skibbity. And apparently this is going to be a monthly thing. Kind of what Jing made it sound like.
That's what they're saying.
So, stay skibbity. Thank you, Hunter and Tommy, for joining as always.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to roll out. So, may the force be with y'all and see you next time.
It's morphin' time.